Hi dear students, greetings for the day. Welcome to Classroom TV. So in this class, we are going to discuss about real numbers. Before that, we just have a quick recapture of the number system, what you have learned in your previous classes. Let us say suppose you take one simple equation, for example, x plus 4 is equal to 10. So I am taking one simple equation, x plus 4 is equal to 10. So to satisfy this, what is the value of x should be here? So to satisfy this, the value of x must be 6. So when I am replacing the value of x with this 6, then I will be getting 6 plus 4, which is equal to 10. Okay, let us have one more example. Say suppose the other one is given as y plus 3 is equal to 8. Now what value of y will satisfy this equation? It is obviously when y is equal to 5, so that you get 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. So here, whether it is 5 or 6 or any other simple equations whose solutions are the counting numbers like 1, 2, 3 and all. So that counting numbers like 1, 2, 3 so on are called, what they are called? They are called natural numbers. They are called natural numbers, and these natural numbers, they are denoted by n. That we know. So the counting numbers are natural numbers. So the set of natural numbers, how we will write, children? The set of natural numbers 1, 2, 3 so on. So this is about the natural numbers. Let us see now the other set of numbers. Say suppose you take one more equation, for example, x plus 3 is equal to 3. We know the natural numbers are set of 1, 2, 3, 4, so on like this. These are the natural numbers that we know. But here the given simple equation is x plus 3 is equal to 3. Can any natural number satisfy this equation? Let us see the least natural number I am taking. When I am taking the least natural number, my least natural number is 1 here. So 1 plus 3, that is equal to 4. But how much we want? We want only the answer to come as 3, so that such an x value we need. So we are not finding any number from natural number. So we need another number. We need another number apart from this 1, 2, 3, 4. So can you guess what could be that number? So here the given equation is x plus 3 is equal to 3. So when I am replacing x with 0, what we are going to get? 0 plus 3, this is equal to 3. So here we are finding another set of numbers. So that means the natural numbers together with 0 are called whole numbers. So what are whole numbers? The natural numbers together with 0. The natural numbers together with 0 are called whole numbers. So the whole numbers are denoted by W. So the whole numbers are denoted by W. So that means the whole numbers are, they start from 0 and it will have all the natural numbers. So can we say here, the natural numbers, whatever the numbers they are present, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are also present in whole numbers. So the set of the elements of natural numbers, that means the set of the numbers in natural numbers, they are also present in the set. So we can say now the natural numbers are subset of whole numbers. Natural numbers are subset of whole numbers. What is this subset actually? So you will have in class 10th, just have an idea of subset here. Say suppose there you have, say suppose there are two sets A and B, for example. Suppose A is a set which is having the numbers 1 and 2. There you got another set B which is having the numbers 1, 2, 3, for example. Set A has 1, 2 and set B has 1 and 2 and 3. So now the set of all these elements, they are in the set B. The set of all the elements 1 and 2, whatever the elements of set A, they are present in B. Then we say that set A is a subset of set B. So what is the symbol, children? This is subset. So here all the natural numbers, they are in whole numbers. So what you can say here, all the natural numbers are whole numbers. But the converse may not be true. Say suppose 0 is a whole number, but is it a natural number? So 0 is a whole number. So you can say, they might ask you a question, you give one example of a whole number which is not a natural number. The example of whole number which is not a natural number. So 0 will be the answer for that, because 0 is a whole number but it is not in the set of natural numbers. Now after that, after the natural numbers, let us see another set of numbers. Say suppose one more equation is given to us, x plus 4 is equal to 1, for example. For example, it is given x plus 4 is equal to 1. We have got the natural numbers, they are from 1, 2, 3, so on. And we also learned that natural numbers together with 0, they are whole numbers. This is what we have learned. Now, can any number from this satisfies this? Let us try. Let's go with the natural number. The least natural number I am taking 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. It's not satisfying. Let us take 0. 0 plus 4 is 1. So it is also not satisfying. So now what could be the answer for this? So then to have here, to have x value here, x must be minus 3. When x is equal to minus 3, then what will happen? Minus 3 plus 4, the result is 1. So we need not only the positive numbers, not only the 0, we also need the negative numbers. So that negative numbers, the set of negative, 0 and positive numbers, they are called integers. What they are called? They are called integers. So that means the negative numbers together with whole numbers. The negative numbers together with whole numbers, then we call them as integers. So these are denoted by the integers are denoted by z or I. So now we got what are integers? The set of integers, they are from the negative numbers, 0 and the positive numbers. So now we got from here, from these two we got that the natural numbers are subset of integers. Natural numbers are subset of whole numbers, that is what we got here. And at the same time, whatever the whole numbers, the set of whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3. So here they all will have, these are all the whole numbers. That means all the whole numbers are present in the set of integers. So now we can say that the whole numbers are subset of integers. The whole numbers are subset of integers, that is what we can say. So from these two, what you can conclude? You can say that the natural numbers are subset of whole numbers and whole numbers are subset of integers. Natural numbers are subset of whole numbers and whole numbers are subset of integers. That indirectly the natural numbers are subsets of integers. So what are integers? Integers means the negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. The set of negative, 0 and positive numbers together called integers. Now let us see now. Say suppose you take one equation, for example, 2x is equal to 3. So I am taking 2x is equal to 3. So we have natural numbers. What are the natural numbers we got? The natural numbers are 1, 2, so on like that. And we got the whole numbers, they are the natural numbers together with 0. We just learned about integers. The integers are, they are the negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. So now, can any number from these three, either it is a natural number or it is a whole number or it is an integer, can satisfy x here? No. The x can be satisfied only when x is placed as 3 by 2. When x is placed as 3 by 2, then what will happen? So 2x, that is 2 into 3 by 2, this 2 and this 2 get cancelled and you are getting your RHS, that is 3. So only 3 by 2 can satisfy this. That means we are finding some other set of numbers which are in the form of p by q. We are finding the other set of numbers which are in the form of p by q. So here we got the value of x as 3 by 2 and this is in the form of p by q. And you see the denominator is not 0. And both the numerator as well as denominator, both are integers. 3 is an integer and 2 is also an integer. So we are finding another set of numbers. So that another set of numbers, we call them rational numbers. So what are rational numbers? The numbers which can be expressed in the form of p by q. The numbers which can be expressed in the form of p by q, where q is not equal to 0 and both p and q are integers. So such a set of numbers, we call them as rational numbers. The numbers that can be expressed in the form of p by q, the number must be in the form of p by q. The number must be in the form of P by Q and the denominator should not be 0. Why it is the reason he is saying denominator should not be 0? We know 0 by something is always 0. Say suppose 0 by 5. How much is 0 by 5? Is 0. Now what happens if it is 5 by 0? If the 0 is in the numerator, the result is 0, no matter whatever is the denominator, irrespective of 0. It's a different form. 0 by 0 is an undetermined form. That is different. So here, if the numerator is 0, then the result is 0. But if the denominator is 0, then we simply write that it is not defined. That is why the denominator, that is P by Q, Q is the denominator and the denominator should not be 0. And moreover, one more condition, both numerator as well as the denominator, both must be integers. P and Q must be integers. So now these kind of numbers, these set of numbers, what we call them? Rational numbers. So now these rational numbers are denoted by Q. We represent the rational numbers with the letter Q. Is it clear? So we can have some examples of rational numbers. So you can try on your choice. Should have in the form of P by Q. Should be in the form of P by Q. Say suppose you take 3 by 2. It can be negative also, no problem. Minus 4 by 3. Minus 5 by 6. 0. 5. So these type of numbers. So up to here it is fine. Then what about these two? Do they are in the form of P by Q? Say suppose 0. 0 by 1 you can write 0 by 2, 0 by 10 you can write anything. 0 by something is 0. Whereas 5. The 5 can be written in the form of 5 by 1. 5 you can write it in the form of 5 by 1. It is in the form of P by Q. And the denominator is not 0. Both 5 and 1. Both 5 and 1 are integers. So it is a rational number. So here, what should be registered in our mind? That the number should be in the form of P by Q and the denominator should not be 0. Both the numerator and denominators must be integers. Such numbers, what we call them? Rational numbers. What we call such numbers? Rational numbers. Now let us see here what is our observation. See, we got the natural numbers, set of 1, 2, 3, so on. Whereas the whole numbers, we got them 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. And then we learned about integers. So they are the negative numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, positive numbers. And then we learned about the integer rational numbers. The rational numbers are in the form of P by Q, where Q is not equal to 0 and both P and Q belongs to integers. So it is clear, we already learned the natural numbers are subset of whole numbers. Whole numbers are subset of integers, we already learned. And you know all the integers, they can be written as rational numbers. Say suppose 5, it is an integer, you can write it as 5 by 1. Say suppose minus 10, that can be written as minus 10 by 1. So all these numbers are present in the set of rational numbers. So we call the integers are also the subsets of rational numbers. Then what happens the converse? Say suppose 5 is a rational number. 5 is a rational number, since you can write it as 5 can be written as 5 by 1. That means, does it mean that all rational numbers are also integers? 5 is a rational number and 5 is also an integer. That means, can we conclude? See, we just earlier concluded that all the integers are rational numbers. Based on that statement, let us take the converse of that statement. All the rational numbers will be integers. Let us have one example that we have considered 5. 5 is a rational number that can be written as 5 by 1 and 5 is also an integer. So with this, can we conclude that all rational numbers are integers? No. Then how? Say suppose you take 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is a rational number. 2 by 3 is a rational number. But 2 by 3 is not in the set of integers. 2 by 3 is a rational number, up to that is fine. But it won't be in the set of integers. So what you can conclude from here? All the rational numbers, the rational number may or may not be an integer. The rational number may be an integer, but it is not true for all the cases. The case like this, it is a rational number, but it is not an integer. So we can say that the rational numbers may or may not be integers. So the rational numbers may or may not be an integer. Is it clear, children? Now, let us see some kind of numbers. See, we learned what are natural numbers, what are whole numbers, what are integers and what are rational numbers. So the naturals are subset of whole numbers and whole numbers are subset of integers and integers are subset of rational numbers. Let us see some kind of numbers. Say suppose you take the number root 2, you can have another number root 3, you can have another number root 5, something like that. These kind of numbers I am taking now. Then, do they are rational numbers? First we will verify. Let us see how we can verify it. This root 2, you can write it as root 2 by 1. No doubt in that. So, it is in the form of p by q. What is the first case to be verified for rational number? It is in the form of p by q. So, it is verified, no doubt. And second one, the denominator should not be 0. So, 1 is not 0. So, the second case also verified. Now, let us see what is the third case. Both p and q must be integers. This is to be verified. So, here it is clear 1 is an integer. 1 is an integer, it is very clear. But what about root 2? Can we find root numbers in integer set? So, the root 2 is not integer. So, this case is failed. That case is failed. That means other than rational numbers, we also have some other set of numbers. Other than rational numbers, we have other numbers. So, the numbers which are not rational, they are called irrational numbers. What numbers we are going to introduce now? Irrational numbers. So, the numbers which are not rational are called irrational numbers. And these irrational numbers These are denoted by the letter Q dash. So we have natural numbers, we have whole numbers, we have integers, we have rational numbers, and we also have irrational numbers. So now, let us come back to irrational numbers again. Let us see now. I am taking root 2. So it is an irrational number. Root 3 I am taking, this is also an irrational number. What about root 4? Is it an irrational number? You know perfect squares, perfect square numbers. If a number is multiplied by itself, you get the square number. So what are the perfect square numbers? The perfect square numbers we have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, like that we have the perfect square numbers. Now what happens if you take the under root of those numbers? So under root of 4 is 2. So this 2 is a rational number. So that means what should be in your mind? The square root of a perfect number is rational. The square root of a perfect square number, not perfect number. The square root of a perfect square number. See, there are two numbers, children. One is a perfect number, one is perfect square number. There is a lot of difference between the two. Perfect square numbers means what? These kind of numbers. See, 1 you can write it as 1 square. 2 you can write it as 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square. These are all perfect square numbers. So if you take the under root of those numbers is always rational. Say suppose I am taking root 10 for example. Now can you say whether it is rational or irrational? What is root 10? Is 10 a perfect square number? No, it is not a perfect square number. So under root of 10 is not a mere number. So the answer is an irrational. The answer is an irrational. So the numbers which are not rational, they are irrational numbers. Say suppose I am giving you root 16. Now can you verify whether it is a rational number or irrational number? Root 16, how do you verify it whether it is rational or irrational? See, you know 16 is a perfect square number. 4 square is 16. So its answer, you will get it as 4. Root 16, you get the answer as 4. So this is a rational number. Suppose I am giving you under root of 21 for example. What is under root of 21? Under root of 21. 21 is not a perfect square number. 21 is not a perfect square number. So it is an irrational. Is it clear? So the numbers which are not rational, they are irrational. So we learned about natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational and irrational. So is there any set consisting all these numbers? See, we have discussed natural numbers are in whole numbers are in integers, integers are in rational numbers, but the rational numbers are not in irrational numbers, remember. But there is one set which has all these numbers. The set of all the numbers comprising of rational and irrational, such a set we call it as real numbers. The set of real numbers. So now, let us come to our topic, real numbers. So what are real numbers now? The set of all the numbers. What are all the numbers? Like natural, whole, integer, rational, integer. The set of all numbers comprising of rational and irrational. The set of all numbers comprising of rational and irrational numbers is called the set of real numbers. Is called the set of real numbers. So these real numbers the set of real numbers are denoted by the letter R. R is the letter which we use to represent the set of real numbers. So what are real numbers, children? So this is nothing but the rational numbers and irrational numbers, they together, they are in the set of real numbers. The rational and irrational, they are together with real numbers. Let us see actually this number system, how it will be. Say suppose, see children, you have got two types of numbers. Basically you should have a knowledge about two types of numbers. They are real numbers and you have complex numbers. So what are these complex numbers? You will understand in your higher levels. So you have got real numbers is one set of numbers and another set of numbers are complex numbers. So these real numbers are denoted by R and complex numbers are denoted by Z. So these complex numbers generally they will be in the form of A plus IB. A is a real part and B is an imaginary part. So how that has come, that will be discussed in higher levels. Let us see. Just remember one point, small point, I square is equal to minus 1. One small point you remember in this class, that is enough for you. So now these real numbers, what we have got? One, we got it as rational numbers. And another one we got it as irrational numbers. So the real numbers will have rational as well as irrational. First, real numbers and complex numbers. That's a number system, has two parts, real numbers and complex numbers. These real numbers, what do they have? They have rational and irrational. They have the set of rational numbers as well as irrational numbers. Now again, from these rational numbers, what we have got? We learned about natural, whole and integers. All these are present in this. Is it clear? Now, let us see how to represent these numbers on number line. Now, representation of numbers on number line. Representation of rational numbers on number line. Let us see how to represent these rational numbers on number line. Let us take one number line, children. This is one number line I am taking. So now this is a line, straight line in a plane. So on this, first I am writing the counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, like that it goes. So now the number line, the numbers, counting numbers are present on the number line. So then we say it is a natural number line. natural set of number line. Is it clear? It is a natural number line. Now what I am doing, what is important here, children? The between the numbers, the spacing must be uniform. The spacing must be uniform. If it is a normal scale, like how 1 to 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter is divided into 10 millimeters. Here the spacing between the numbers should be uniform. Whatever the space that 1 to 2, the same space must be given to 2 to 3 also. It should be uniform. So now it is a natural number line. Now what I am doing, I am just adding one 0 here. I am taking 0 on the left side of the positive numbers. So then it becomes a whole number line. When positive numbers are there, when only positive numbers are there, we are saying it as a natural number line. Now what I am doing, for this I am keeping 0. Now it has become whole number line. Let us see, we are introducing negative numbers. -1, -2, -3, -4, like that. So then what it is? This is an integer number line. We have got integers, 0 and positive numbers. So 0 should be in the middle. Right side of 0, they are positive numbers, and the left side of 0 should be negative numbers. Now let us see how to represent one rational number on a number line. Say suppose, for example, I want to represent 2 by 3 on the number line, for example. For example, we want to represent 2 by 3 on a number line. It is a rational number. So here, 2 points you should remember. First case, you have to check whether the numerator is more than denominator or numerator is less than denominator. So here 2 is lesser value than 3. 2 is lesser than 3. So it is a proper fraction. There are two types, proper and improper. Proper and improper. So that is 2 by 3, 2 is less than 3. So then, just one point you should remember, that is, it lies between 0 and 1. It lies between 0 and 1. That should be in your mind. When numerator is less than denominator, whatever the given fraction, whatever the given rational number, it lies between 0 and 1. So now let us see, representing 2 by 3 on the number line now. So 2 by 3. So this is positive, children. 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. The spacing must be uniform between the numbers. Between the numbers. Now we got it now, just now, that this value lies between 0 and 1. That means this portion. The value lies between here. This is the portion. The value lies between 0 and 1. So I am taking that 0 and 1. So this is 0, children, this is 1. I am taking only that particular area, I am separating it here. 0 and 1. So now we want 2 by 3. Let us see what is the denominator. The denominator is 3. You divide this spacing into 3 equal parts. So this is the first part, second part, and this is the third part. Is it clear, children? You have to divide the spacing. You have to divide the spacing which is equal to the denominator. So the denominator is 3 here. If suppose the denominator is 5, then we will divide into 5 equal parts. If the denominator is 7, then we will divide into 7 equal parts. Now which part you want? You want 2 by 3. Which part we want? We want 2 by 3. So this will be 1 by 3, children. This will be 2 by 3. and this will be 3 by 3. Now this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. So this is 2 by 3. Let us have one more example. Say suppose 4 by 5. We want to represent 4 by 5. Any number can be done so easily. 4 by 5. What is, this is numerator is less than the denominator. The numerator is lesser than the denominator. Here it is a proper fraction. So the value lies between 0 and 1. Value lies between 0 and 1. The value lies between 0 and 1. So now I am taking only 0 and 1. I am taking only 0 and 1 because the value lies between 0 and 1. So here now what you have to do, these denominator, what is the denominator here? The denominator is 5 here. So you divide this space into 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you have to divide this into 5 equal parts because the denominator is 5. So 1, 2, 3, one more you want, 4, 5. 5 equal parts. So now this will be 1 by 5. This is 2 by 5. This is 3 by 5. Now what is the answer we wanted? We wanted 4 by 5. So this is 4 by 5. This one is 4 by 5. So what should be in our mind? What you have to remember? You should remember that if the denominator, see whatever the denominator, you divide it into that many equal parts. That many equal parts. Let us see one more example. Say suppose we want to represent 5 by 7. Let us see we want to represent 5 by 7. So here the numerator is less than the denominator. The numerator is less than the denominator. Let us take a negative number, otherwise minus 5 by 7 you take. You take minus 5 by 7. So far we are done with positive numbers. Let us take one negative number. Minus 5 by 7. Numerator is less than a denominator. Now here leave the sign for a moment. Just leave a sign. So the value lies between 0 and 1. But here it is negative, so it is between 0 and minus 1. The value lies between 0 and minus 1. So let us see now. First we will draw the line. 0. On the right side of 0, you will have all the positive numbers, and on the left side you will have the negative numbers. So we wanted between 0 and minus 1. This is the region we wanted. So you take only that particular area. So here this is 0, children, and here it is minus 1. So this spacing should be divided into 7 equal parts, because what is our denominator here? Our denominator is 7. So let it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is here. It is divided into 7 equal parts. 7 equal parts. Now this is minus 1 by 7. We wanted minus 5 by 7. So it is minus 1 by 7 here. Minus 2 by 7. Minus 3 by 7. And this is minus 4 by 7. And this one we wanted. So this is what? This is minus 5 by 7. This is what? Minus 5 by 7. So what is important to know? First you have to verify whether the numerator is less than the denominator or numerator is more than the denominator. If it is less than the denominator, always the value lies between 0 and 1 if it is positive. If it is negative, between 0 and minus 1. Now see the denominator. See the denominator. So this denominator you divide into whatever the denominator into that many equal parts you divide. You divide the denominator into that many equal parts. And whatever the numerator, there you mark it. You just count it. First will be, suppose here if you take minus 1 by 7, minus 2 by 7, minus 3 by 7, minus 4 by 7. This is the one we wanted, minus 5 by 7. So you take some random rational numbers of your own choice and you practice this representation of rational numbers on number line. Let's have more discussion in our next class. Till then, bye children, God bless you all, stay tuned.